Hey everyone, my name's Derek. Most people call me Hollywood, and I am the owner and operator at Hollywood Blvd. I actually started this about a year ago. Been quite the process, but I'll explain more later after kind of take a little tour of everything here. I just figured the stuff I do, most people probably enjoy, between the derby side, auto side, and other things we got going on. I feel like I have a pretty cool, interesting life, and I figured I'd show it to everyone and hope you guys can enjoy it as well. Maybe you can learn some things, especially on the derby side. But I guess we'll see what the inside of the shop looks like here. Then we'll go outside, and then after that, we will have a little time just to talk about me, how the shop started, derby stuff, just kind of give you an idea who I am more and how the business is, and a little bit about my family, friends maybe. So you guys can enjoy this with me together throughout this whole journey we're gonna go on here. And I hope you guys enjoy it all. But yeah, so we're gonna start looking at the shop here. So anyway, go back up to the door a little bit here. So yeah, I'm lucky enough to have two hoists in here. They were here when I moved in. I got 12,000 pound, and then that one's like an 8,000 pound. Usually that one just gets used for the derby stuff. So not much mechanic stuff on that hoist unless I really need it. But yeah, most days I'm happy to have two, and some days I wish I had one, just for the fact it'd be nice to work on some stuff without the hoist in the way. But yeah, we've been making it work, so. Here's my forklift. Just got this one last year. I had a propane one, but I wanted an electric one for inside here since now I have a telehandler outside. It just sucked having a propane one running in here, and the fumes get a little scary sometimes. But my buddy Chad actually found this one for me. His dad had it for the company his dad owned. They didn't like it too much, so he ended up getting it. Works great for pulling motors and everything like that. Other than the fact it only has got one-wheel drive, so it kind of sucks to move around once in a while. But yeah, it's been a great unit so far. Can't complain about that. So anyway, when I first got the shop, that whole upstairs was actually all open, and that was one of the first things I did, which is still not done, though. We'll see that shortly in here. But I blocked it all off because I wanted an office area and maybe a hangout area. So yeah, we got that all blocked off beginning of the year, last year. I just wanted to kind of keep an area that keep the dust out, because when you get working on especially fabrication stuff, like with the derby stuff, it gets pretty smoky in here, pretty dusty in here, and stuff like that. So I want an area I can keep all my papers and stuff that's really not organized yet. We haven't got that far, so that'll be a whole project there to go and watch and try to get all that done up there. We finally got lights up there. It's been a while. It's been almost a whole year I didn't have lights up there. But yeah. So anyway, I kind of rearranged it a little bit here. Normally that saw was in the middle here where that post is. I just rearranged it because I just wanted more room, because I actually want to use the bench. But back there is actually a whole 6.0 LS. It was actually my derby engine. I had for a few years. It was a great engine. I mean, I still don't think an LS can handle what a small block Chevy can, but that's everyone's personal opinion on that. But the last straw was a couple main bearings went out of it, or rod bearings actually went out of it, and I ended up going back to a small block. Never had a chance to put it back together, but actually had a good friend purchase it all. So hopefully we get all that out of here soon. Because I kind of want my bench back. Got a AC machine. Don't know if I can get it working yet. It's an older one. It's in really good shape, so that'll be another project of figuring out how to get that thing to work. The transmission on the bench is actually for a blue square body Chevy that I have outside. It's one of my dad's friends. I pulled it out last year. He had to get a new tranny. It was a 350 tranny in it. It burnt up. He actually got a 700 R4 for it, I believe. Yep, looks like it. And torque converter, all new stuff, brand new tranny. I just haven't had a chance to put it in yet. Hoping to get to that soon. Got my bandsaw over here and some extra metal. That thing's a lifesaver. I actually purchased that from my good friend Cody. He bought a bigger saw for his shop, and I ended up getting it since I needed something for building derby stuff and stuff like that. Great unit. Can't complain about that. We'll go over here before we get to the car stuff. So that green box is actually going to be my derby box. A little nice for a derby box, but the way it was set up, I couldn't pass it up. Once I get the garage container thing, or garage for the gooseneck made, which will go, I'll show you outside what it looks like, the shell of it. This will actually go in there. I want a toolbox locked up, all the power tools can go in it, stuff like that. I can move it in and out of the box if I need to, because like when we go to Gold Rush up Rapid City, we get to have a tent, so I get to pull all my tools and stuff out and we put in the tent. So I wanted something that was self-contained, and we could take it in and out of that shop we're going to hopefully get built here soon for the Goose. Some random motors back there, a little bit of fan stuff there, little table for cutting with my plasma cutter, super nice thing. My buddy Chad actually bought some stuff from a guy, and he ended up having that, and it was a really good deal, and I really didn't have anything for my plasma cutter to cut on. It holds water, but it makes more of a mess, I think, with the water in there, so we've just been using it just dry. Job box, it usually comes with derbies with us. That's full of stuff there. My nice box that just gets to sit here and no one gets to see it. Purchased that when I was actually at the dealership. I'll explain later more of my backstory of how I became a mechanic, stuff like that, but I purchased that while I was at the GM dealer. Actually, it was custom built for me. If you can see the name on there. Yeah, so just collecting dust more or less, it looks like. I mean, I got quite a few tools in there. I mean, I don't even want to know how much I've spent on tools. It make me sick probably. But, you know, derby stuff spends a lot more money than the tools do anyway. So we're going to go back here first before we get to the car. Actually, we'll probably go upstairs before we get to the car, because I'll be talking about that for a little bit. But anyway, my air compressor's back here. This is a whole separate room. Actually, my buddy Easton, which we'll get to see his car outside later, he helps me quite a bit. Thankfully, he comes around. He actually helped me organize this a little differently back here. There was no shelf there, but this shelf is strictly for like the stuff I normally use in my cars all the time. So this is like my other setup out of my Bristol car, which was already pulled apart because I have that sold. We'll go back there and I'll show you that in a little bit. But yeah, that's the motor out of the Bristol car. It's a 383 stroker built by a good friend of mine, Joey the Grander, nicknamed Cheese Whiz. We actually got to pull that back out of there. It's been around a few times. I just wanted to go over it and make sure everything's good and ready for this year, because I'm actually probably going to use that motor for Gold Rush in Rapid City next year instead of my 355 I got in my car right now from Gold Rush. This thing's got a little more power, and cars are getting pretty heavy, and I just figured we'll have a little more fun with it this time. Over here, I'm hoping to get all this rearranged. I'm hoping to get rid of the washer and dryer, that furnace. Since we stole the wood stove, which I'll show you, there's a hole in the lean-to out back and we removed it, but that's supposed to go. These are going to probably go, and I'll have a little more room in here to organize a little better. Then that's actually my old toolbox from Derby's. Didn't know where else to put it. So it's just going to sit back here with some other random things, some totes of parts I use when I go to Derby's, and this is actually going to be my parts room. Don't mind the mess. It was kind of organized at one time, but this is all my extra stuff I have for Derbying. Needs to get really organized again. Transmissions, coil springs, my seats, radiators, lots of suspension parts, steering, control arms, lots of, well, not so much lots anymore, but all that's pretty much small block Chevy stuff. Our slider drive shafts. People that don't know, a lot about derbying that are watching this, that's actually our drive shaft nowadays. So when the car bends, they actually can move in and out so they don't break as easy. So that end will come out or go in, depending what the motor does. Just makes the car last a lot longer. I prefer to use a 4-point, if you can see, in my heavier cars, but lighter stuff I've only used a lap belt yet. And then the people that I forgot to explain to some people that probably don't know what derbying is this crazy. But yeah, bigger shows that allow full protection around your whole drivetrain. This is kind of what it looks like. It's actually pretty crazy if you don't really understand. But you're more or less protected in the investment. I mean, it's $10,000 engine, $1,500 transmission. You don't really want to break it every time you run it. But you also get to use this to help strengthen the car in a lot of different ways. But we'll go over that this whole summer here. But yeah, that's what the motors and trannies look like in the, just say, mod cars for derbying. But yeah, and then gotta thank my big time decal guy and the roof sign guy, George Hineout with G&H Graphics. Really good friend of mine. Builds great decals. Built some sweet hood wraps. Great roof signs. We're actually sponsored by him for Spring Explosion in Champaign, Illinois this year. So yeah, he's gonna get us all set up with some really gnarly roof signs and hood wraps. I'm thinking we're gonna probably do. But yeah. But speaking of Cheese Whiz that built this motor, I actually got him out of retirement. He hasn't ran in a few years, and he's actually my teammate for Spring Explosion. Never got a chance to really run with him. Been really good friends with him for a long time. Actually looked up to him when I was younger, and it's actually an honor to run with him. There's actually a lot of people I never expected to be on the track with or compete against, to be honest. And to pull it off against some of the people I've been with is unbelievable. I still feel like I'm just a young kid doing this, but I'm 30 now, and yeah, I feel like I'm still learning, which we're all still learning, I guess, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, here's the messy office area. I'll turn the light on here. I actually have a 71 Buick Estate wagon driver. That's what all them boxes over there for. They're all extra parts, and this is all just random motor parts. I haven't figured out where to put. My desk, I gotta redo that. I'm actually gonna put it where the fridge is probably, and the fridge is gonna go somewhere else. But I haven't really got time to do this, so this is kind of a project that's on the back burner. Probably gonna do it sooner than later. But yeah, that'll be a whole video of that showing all the process and the changes in here. So I'm hoping this can be an office / hangout area. But we'll see how that goes. Alright. Back downstairs here. Yeah, this is quite the view up here, I'll tell you that. A little bit more stuff here. Some junk pile, oil, used oil. Another Cheese Whiz built motor. He let me use that a few times. I'm hoping I'll probably use that Spring Explosion here again, I'm assuming. Great 355. Sounds amazing. Just gonna probably get it fresher, checked over, make sure everything's good. We'll go on the wall here for a minute. I'll probably come back to this, but this is me and my wife's hood from our wedding. We got married in 2021, and I was trying to think of a thing to have everyone sign, and obviously I do derbies, and Buicks are one of my favorite cars in the derby world. So I actually found a 73 Buick Riviera hood, and everyone that came to our wedding got to sign it. And didn't really have a place to put it at first, but we got the shop, and then I finally had a chance to hang it up, and it was a really sweet moment to finally have that hung up on the wall, especially next to that. So that is the first year they had Gold Rush. We ended up pulling off the win. But I'll get back to that in a little bit with the story of that, because it's a pretty cool story. But that's actually my biggest achievement so far, ever. And to pull it off with some great friends is the best part about the whole thing. A couple more things on there. Probably the only check I'm going to get from that derby. Anyway, we're going to go to the Gold Rush car now. So anyway, this is my 2025 Gold Rush Nationals team car. I am the captain of RPM Redemption, which is a team that runs at this derby. It's a phenomenal derby, ran by Ultimate Derby. Sam Williams and his kids do great work at this show. Everything goes smooth every time. I have such a blast with it. Best part for my good friends, especially my best friend Cody. In the last 2 years, ever since we won, we've pulled off second, so we've been in the championship every year, which is an accomplishment in itself, in my opinion. But this year we had a little bit of luck. We probably had her, but I ended up breaking the bell housing on my transmission, which is the very first time I ever did that. So if you guys remember that motor that was in the back, that steel bell housing that's on that transmission actually collapsed, which is unbelievable. But that's what actually took me out, and she bent pretty good. I did some things to it, and they didn't like it, and I think that's what was my demise on this one. It kind of bent more than I've ever had one bend there. But yeah, this is my life right here. I mean, I live and breathe derbies. Obviously, I still do the auto stuff also, but this is my life right here in a nutshell. I'll say that. And a lot of people that don't understand derbies, this actually was a 75 Buick Electra two-door. We pull the whole body frame off, do it all over again, pretty much start from scratch, which a lot of you will find out in the videos of all the derbies we do and how everything goes. And I'm assuming a lot of you are going to be mind blown that don't understand the derby world quite yet, but we're not a bunch of guys knocking the windows out anymore. I mean, they have classes for that yet, but there's a lot goes in these things, and there's a lot of money. This sport is no different than racing on the dirt, racing blacktop, truck pulling, everything. We live and breathe it, spend the money on it, and we enjoy the heck out of it. So, but yeah, let's get a little walk around of this one. There'll be a video of me probably taking it apart here after we get done with Cody's car. That's actually going to be the first project. We're actually going to be going to his shop to do that. Since it's a little easier for making stuff, because I don't have a plasma table, they actually CNC one to cut all the parts and stuff like that. And Cody is very knowledgeable with that stuff and has helped me a ton with fabricating stuff and stuff like that. But I have built the car for Cody this last year. Plan was to build his car this year again, which I'm going to go help him. So I'm pretty much doing it anyway, but we're doing it together. But we're just going to do it at his shop. So you'll actually get to see what 726 Customs looks like a little bit. Great guy. I'll get more into Cody when we're on our way to drive into his shop. But yeah, this is what a national mod team car kind of looks like. I'm not going to say I'm the greatest at anything, but this is just my setup in here. The cage is all the way from the bottom of the floor to the top of the floor to the bottom of the doors there. Yeah, it's there's a lot of steel that goes in these things, and I've actually used this cage 5 times now. So when money is a thing in this sport, I try using what I can over and over again. So the cage gets reused as much as I can, so because it is expensive to buy new. But yeah, so lost my headrest this year. We actually got, I've seen if you guys noticed, hydraulic steering, just like the rock crawling guys run a steering like that, so I don't have to worry about a shaft. I enjoy it. It's definitely something to get used to, but some guys hate it. It's just a weird feeling. When you get hit in the wheel, you don't really feel it. Back end kind of bent a little goofy, started to go down a little bit. Was a pretty good weapon, and the point of getting it going like this is hopefully take someone's steering out, make it a little easier for us to win. So to get the car to wedge down like that is pretty good and helps to wipe steering out. I'm not a big fan of wedge cars, I would say they're called. I like to just derby it out, but when that's the way it's kind of going, sometimes it seems like in the sport, you gotta compete. So I tried it. There's a few things that didn't work out, and I had to change it while I was there. But in the long run, it was a great car. I actually only built this car in 12 days because I got home from Bristol and I didn't even touch it yet. So that's an accomplishment in itself right there. It was a long 2 weeks, but we got it done and it was a beautiful car. What I'm pretty proud of. I wish this shit wasn't so junked out. I was hoping I could run it this summer instead of pulling it apart, but we're going to pull it all apart and get that transmission fixed and have it ready for this year. But anyway, we're going to go outside now, and I'm going to show you the few projects we got outside, and then I'll come back in and I'll kind of talk about Hollywood Blvd and about me, so you guys can kind of get a gist of who I am. So when we do this stuff and you guys get to enjoy watching it, you kind of understand what's going on and give you a little backstory and everything. So, all right, let's go outside. That's my house over there. This is one of the other projects we got this year. Probably going to do this sooner than later. Once we get past Cody's wagon build, figured I get to this. It's been sitting here for a while. It's a good friend of mine. My dad's friend, actually. Pulled transmission out. It was burnt up. Got a new transmission, like fall time for it. I just haven't had a chance to actually get it in. It's actually the one that's on the bench in there, like I said. So hopefully we can get it done soon. Don't mind the little bit of mess I got there in the snow. We got my sweet telehandler there. I'd be lost if I didn't have that. Does wonders, especially for the derby world. Getting stuff moved around, cars, bodies put on, everything like that. That'll probably be another episode. I need to do some cleaning up and fixing up and service on it. I'm kind of neglecting it a little bit. Usually happens with my own stuff sometimes. This red Ford, it's a friend of mine, actually good friend. He helps around here doing carpentry stuff for the house and stuff like that. He actually helped me get the wall out the back. Another project you got here to do once it warms up, probably. Needs a fuel tank, some brake work, stuff like that. Actually only got like 14 or 15,000 miles on it. It's been sitting for a long time, but Wisconsin got the best of it. It looks like there. The black truck, it's a junk truck. I wish I would have started this before, but the frame is really bad on it. It would have been a great video because I actually got it on the hoist. Was a little terrifying. But I had to pull the transfer case out because my grandma's truck needed it. Tranny's the rebuilt one, was a good tranny. Only thing left is the motor. Everything was good on that. Just need to get that out. It's almost ready to come out. But we just gotta pull it out, you know, for the free time thing. But hopefully we're gonna get that done here soon. The rest of it's gonna go to the scrapyard since the frame is so bad on it. So that'll probably be another adventure we'll go on there. Big thing here. This is gonna actually be my derby shop. I'm hoping for when I go to the derbies. Me and Dad thought about it. We're hoping to turn it into a sweet garage, so I have all my tools in there, parts, workbench, stuff like that. And we're gonna make it mount on the gooseneck, my 40-foot goose. So that'll be quite the couple episodes or more showing getting that made. I don't know when I'm actually going to get to it. I'm hoping here in the spring, but we'll see with work and everything like that. And the funds, I mean, take a little bit there, especially with everything else we got going on. Yeah, I'm hoping it turns out pretty cool. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy that. Wish it was a little shorter. It's a 18-footer. I wish it was like a 16, but it'll do the trick. It does have enough room for one car behind that. But yeah, well, that'll definitely be quite the adventure on that, putting that together. All right, let's go for more of a walk here. Freaking snow, I tell you. My snowmobile, hopefully gonna get rid of that one. Needs a little bit of work, but half the time I can't ride them here anyway, it seems like. But there's those. Got some stuff along the building that need to be cleaned up. This is gonna be another project. This is actually one of my uncle's. It's an International 490 or 464. Just pushing oil past the spark plugs. So I'm actually gonna do my first rebuild on a tractor. Never done it, but I've done enough engines, GM engines. I feel like I'm mechanically inclined enough. We're gonna do it, but that'll be a good process to watch, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Me and the wife definitely enjoy our side-by-siding, so that's our Can-Am X3 there. So this was actually one of the projects I had to finish. We had a wood stove in there, and the only way I was getting it out was cutting the wall out. I want to put a garage door in that and use it for storage. Right now, didn't get time to get the wall up. So that's how it stayed for the winter. Hopefully when it warms up, we'll get that done. This was a vehicle I actually got fixed up for a friend. Really cool video to do that too. I actually designed a mount that fixes the rusted control arms on these things. They usually rust out around here by that lower back control arm. I drew on a piece of paper of how I needed it, and I had my buddy Chad at Crooked Iron make a mount, and it actually turned out really good. I've done 2 of them now. Obviously, it's if you're okay with it, since it is a kind of liability thing, we can do them. But yeah, it would be fine. They're almost better than the factory one, to be honest. But I might bring that in to show you guys what it is and stuff like that before we get rid of it. But just waiting for him to come get it. And here's kind of my disaster of extra metal and parts and stuff that need to get straightened out sometime. My steel pile is kind of getting a little low. Might have to get some more here soon, hopefully. But then the disaster back there, derby season gets busy and stuff just gets thrown back there. So one of my buddy Easton's, you'll probably see him quite a bit on here. We're actually gonna run cars together, I'm hoping, this summer. He built that for our local fair and had some bad luck. It wouldn't stay running. So hopefully we can get that issue figured out for this year, because I'm actually building another HHR with him. I normally don't run compacts, but around home, that's a bigger thing than the full-size stuff like I usually run. But that'll be a long project on that one too. We'll actually go back there and I'll show you the one I have. And there's some steel there, some tires. If I knew more about boats, I'd try doing that. That's actually my wife's grandfather's boat. We'd like to get it redone someday, just for the fact it was her grandfather's, and I know nothing about boats, so that's way past my knowledge of fixing the whole inside of it and making sure everything's good. Buddy Chad's mom's Oldsmobile. I don't know what he plans on doing with that, but that's just been sitting here. Maybe we'll do something cool with that if this does take off. This is one of my good friends local to me. Started building it for a show last year. That's only like an hour away from us. We ran out of time and hoping to finish it. We're actually going to build it for a different class now. So that'll be another journey we'll be going on. A lot of cool things you could do. I mean, it's not a huge build, but definitely be a good thing for a lot of people to watch. Especially, this is probably going to be more of your average, like, stalker, maybe limited weld style build, so a lot of people would probably get into that. And give a lot of people some tips and tricks on that, I guess. Yeah, so we're hoping to get that done once it warms up as well. This is my big yard I gotta mow every week, I feel like. Right now it's snow, good old Wisconsin. Oh. Hopefully you guys are enjoying a little bit here, just trying to give you an idea what goes on around here and what I got going and my life here. Once we get done looking at all this stuff, we'll go back in and I'm going to give you a little bit of a lowdown on how it all started, how derbying started for me, some of my big achievements, how I actually finally got a shop of my own. It's actually a long time coming, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But anyway, so that's my HHR. Motor's blown up in it. We got one over there by the shop. So that'll be one of my first compacts in a while for myself. I used to do that a long time ago, but it's been a long time. These two cars, I ran Bristol, which actually is the Bristol NASCAR track the last 2 years. Unfortunately, there's not going to be no more derbies there. There was an organization and it kind of fell apart. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, that's one thing about these mod cars that I do normally. Once I come home, I kind of can't do anything with them. My fair that I actually promote, we have a class for it, but I personally don't run it because I'm in charge that day. But around here, we don't got much for this stuff, so I actually ended up getting these sold, which is good because I ain't gonna do nothing with them. They're just gonna sit here like everything else. I mean, you guys can see like the one inside. There's just so much more in these than what we're allowed for around here or anything close. I mean, normally I drive a long ways away to go derby because the stuff I like to do is not too local to me. So, but yeah, so them are gonna be gone eventually, thankfully. I just gotta get my roof sign off of that yet. That was one of my friend's cars from a few years ago. That's just still sitting here. And then that's my buddy's, Damien's car. He'll probably be around once in a while, helping. He ran this at a local team show, had some bad luck, then took it to our fair the day after, had even more bad luck, and yeah, it's been sitting here since. Got a 62 Thunderbird. Haven't decided if I want to actually build it yet, but I feel like that'd be a pretty cool build. Never done one like that. Never done a unibody car. Haven't decided what I want to actually do with it yet. Super clean car. I've tried getting rid of it a few times, but no one's really biting the bullet on it. So if it stays here long enough, we'll probably get to it. Probably something a little closer to home, just in case something dumb does happen to it. And then that was a mod wagon my friend Steven built a few years ago, and then my buddy Kane actually ran it last year. Had a pretty decent run with it, but it's so used up in the back now, it's just waiting for the cage to get the cut out. So that'll be another video of that, I'm sure. And this jalopy over here is my uncle's truck. He bought it for parts. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Runs and drives great. I just haven't had a chance to pull the drivetrain out of it yet, or we might do something cool with that. Maybe we'll let you guys decide. You never know. Get enough people out here to watch, we could do some things with some junk vehicles, I would suppose. But alright, I'm gonna walk back to the shop and get back with you guys there shortly. So, we walked around the shop and we walked around everything outside, kind of explained the little bit we got going on around here. Hopefully them are all going to be some projects we're all going to do throughout the year. Probably a couple episodes or more per thing, depending how long it takes. mainly I started doing this, started doing this because there's just a lot of things people don't see, especially the derby world. But I can't say all derby world because I will be doing other things other than derby related. But I truly believe that a lot of people don't realize how crazy the sport actually is. You know, the average person thinks it's just easy, simple, like I said earlier. Kind of get a bad rap. There's a lot of videos of dumb things people do while the events are happening, mainly at county fairs. But I feel like if someone actually truly went to a national caliber event, they'd understand that the sport is no different than any other big motorsport. I mean, we're competing at the highest level, still trying to beat each other. I mean, the payouts are getting bigger and bigger because everything else is going up in the world. I mean, this year would be the first $100,000 show for Gold Rush. It usually was 50. But since everything else is going up, I suppose they figured we're not gonna do this for free. I mean, I love to win the money, helps come back, because I mean, everything I have extra goes into this sport. I mean, I live and breathe it, like I said. I don't have a lot of extra. I mean, we have some toys between me and the wife for side-by-side and other stuff like that. We just finally got a toter home to help for when I go to the derbies instead of paying for a hotel all the time. But like every little extra thing I have usually, other than when we go together to do things with our son, goes into this sport. I don't have a ton of extra cars around. I usually just get what I have for when I need it. I wish I had a bunch of cars to pick from, but the funds are not there. And like I said, everything I personally have is pretty much in here now. I mean, it's been a long time coming, so we'll get into that. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my name is Derek. My nickname is Hollywood, which is what most people know me as. I actually got that nickname from Cody, just for the fact. He gave that to me in like 2017 for the fact of I knew so many people that derbied, not necessarily was friends with them and talked to them, but I just know who they were. I knew who they were. They pull on the track, I'd be like, hey, this is so-and-so, and he just couldn't believe. And then the amount of people I had friends on Facebook that were derby people, he just thought it was crazy, because at that time he was still just the average local guy that ran stuff around home and had no clue what the sport actually was until I brought him into it. But I'll get into that on the next episode when we're going to Cody's. I'll explain about Cody, how we became friends. But anyway, so I started derbying. So my nickname, let me go back here. Got the nickname Hollywood from Cody. It kind of stuck for everyone, and then I actually turned that nickname that I hated actually at first into what now is my life and the business and the journey I started here at Hollywood Boulevard. It was hard to pick a name, but I thought about it, and why not name it Hollywood Boulevard, because this is where so many incredible things are going to happen, and I can't wait for you guys to see it all. So I actually started this in 2025, so it's actually been 1 year exactly. I actually was working for Cody before I came here. He builds derby parts and fabrication stuff. I worked for him for about 2 years. Was great. I just finally had this place on my own to do it, and I always wanted to have my own business, and I left Cody's and I came here. Before that, I worked at the GM dealer in town. Was a pretty good tech there. I actually did the bigger projects. Never had a certification, but I was getting there on all my credentials. I mean, I had all my tests pretty much done. I just never got ASE stuff. Big thing was they wanted me to become the diesel mechanic. So I was doing a lot of bigger projects on the Duramaxes and stuff like that. All the 5.3s, 6 liters, 6.2s, I was working on that stuff. So I enjoyed the bigger projects. When I say I work on diesel stuff, I just do the average, you know, diagnostic and repair stuff. I will admit, I'm not a big performance guy on diesels. I don't know enough about them. In that aspect, I can take one apart and put it back together and find what's wrong with it, and that's about it on the Duramax. I can give you some tips and stuff that I just know from experience, but other than that, I'm not your guy that'll know what to do if you want to delete it or whatever not. So, but anyway, so I left the dealership, went to Cody's. I just more or less left the dealership to go to Cody's because I wanted to have more free time to do stuff like the derbying, hang out with the family and stuff like that, and I didn't want to have a set vacation. I want to enjoy my life the way I want to enjoy it, and I don't want to have to regulate it because of how many days you actually get. Yes, you don't get paid to be off now, but I believe if you don't enjoy your life the way you want to enjoy it, what's the point of even doing anything? That's my philosophy. I'd rather live my life 100% how I want to, how we want to, instead of being stuck in doing things that you don't want to be doing your whole life. So then, obviously, like I said, left Cody's, started this. Now the demolition derby side started in 2009. I was only 14, been running since then. I've been ran every year since then. Didn't really know a whole lot, to be honest, until I started going to these bigger shows. Still learning a lot. I am never going to say I know everything, which I don't know everything. But I've definitely learned a lot in probably the last 3 to 4 years on the sport. Just the geometry and shit like that. Okay, I can't swear, sorry. The geometry and stuff like that. Just there's so many things that I've learned I wish I knew a long time ago, but obviously I didn't. But I've gained so many friends in the sport, it's unbelievable. I became friends with people I used to watch when I was 10, 11 years old, sitting in the grandstand at Metal Mayhem, which was a really big derby, demolition derby back then in Illinois. Now I talk to the people that I used to think were amazing on the track. I think they were incredible, you know, and now I actually get to talk to them and hang out with them, and I get to compete against them, and I actually can beat them before, you know, and that's a big accomplishment on its own, in my opinion. And I still feel like I'm not a big name person, which some people, I mean, a lot of people think I am, but I personally feel like I'm much like anyone else. I'm just an average person that just enjoys the sport so much, and that's all it's ever going to be. Like I said, it's great to win, but I just enjoy doing it, and I just enjoy building the stuff and being any part of derbying. I mean, you can ask my wife. I'm in the house, I'm watching videos, looking at pictures, doing all that stuff. I mean, I just live and breathe it, man. I mean, it's in my blood, and my dad did it since I was a baby. It was nothing like it is now, but I've always been around it, so that was my life. And a lot of people have their hobbies, and this has just ended up being mine. I'm not a big drinker. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I don't go out, never really did. I just enjoy being in this shop doing what I love doing. And that's why I'm doing this. I feel like the stuff we're going to go on together and this journey we're going to do with all this building cars and the things we're going to do all year long, I feel like you guys are going to be really in tune. I know there's not a million people that probably will enjoy derbying or understand it, but I'm hoping watching these and being a part of it, they'll understand that this sport is more than just a bunch of rednecks going out there and smashing cars together. This is a family, this is a sport. I mean, the whole atmosphere of demolition derby is just unbelievable if you want it to be, and I feel like there's so much more people don't see in the sport. So anyway, I've been doing, obviously, like I said, since 2009. Worst thing I've ever had happen to me, I got my hand smashed, can't tell, it's a little screwed up, my finger's a little crooked. Got hit in the A-pillar and actually hit my hand on the steering wheel, crushed it. It was 2018 at Blizzard Bash, which is a derby in Topeka, Kansas. Ended up having surgery on it. It was really hard for me to get back into a car after that and actually enjoy it. I just was too worried about getting hurt again. My mindset wasn't there. I admit I drove like crap, and all I could worry about was getting hurt. 2022 came around, and I actually ran a local show with my really good friends again at Jim Falls, Wisconsin. And all my goal is to go out there and just have fun and don't care anything about anything else. And I went out there and I drove hard as I could with what I had, and that was the most relief I've ever had off my shoulders since the day I got hurt. And ever since then, the mindset's been completely different again. I've said if anything happens to me again, I'm gonna be done, but I'm not thinking about that no more. I'm enjoying being in that seat, being on the track with amazing people, and having a great time. 2023 comes around, they start this derby called Gold Rush Nationals. It was at Rapid City, South Dakota. I was running Blizzard Bash at Topeka, Kansas for the last 4 years before that, and I was running with the Quas family. They actually brought me into RPM Redemption. That was their team. And we got asked to go to Gold Rush Nationals, but they wanted to run Blizzard Bash one more time as a family, which there was one more brother that took his spot. They wanted him to run one more time as a family, so they decided to stay at Blizzard Bash, and I took the spot for Gold Rush. So I had to make the team for Gold Rush in 2023. Well, me and Cody never actually got to run together. We ran a few little cars around home, one little car around home actually, and never actually got to be on the track together other than that one time. So we've been friends for at least 5 years by this time, 4 or 5 years. So I said, hey, you want to run a big car at this show on my team? And he obviously said yes, I want to be on the team. And we really had an idea who we were going to pick for our other two teammates. It's a 4-man team. So you go 4 on 4 throughout the whole bracket. It's like sports. You win, you keep going to the championship. You lose, you never get to win again. So anyway, we thought of who we could pick, and I actually asked a friend that I talked to a few times. His name was Ethan Beamer. Never really got to hang out with him much. We sold some parts and talked about some cars back and forth a few times, but knew he built decent stuff. Seemed like a great person, and then he asked if his brother-in-law could run, which is Steven. So they agreed, and we put the team together, and we went to Gold Rush that fall. Our team never ran together once before this. I mean, had no clue what was going to happen, not a clue that we were going to be on the track doing good things, but we won the first heat, and we're like, oh, this is working out pretty good. And then we had one of the better teams there. The second round, we beat them, and I was in shock. I mean, we're great drivers, but the guys we beat were doing it for such a long time. It was an incredible accomplishment. After that, we beat another great team, and then we were in the championship, and we're against Team Iron City, and those guys were top of their game at the time, and was not expecting to pull it off. The people that we beat that weekend is still one of my greatest achievements. I mean, the drivers and caliper builders that we went against and pulled it off for a team that's never been on the track together is just unbelievable. And the best part about it all is being in that championship on that track with those guys to do what we did in a weekend of first time actually really meeting each other. It's just mind-blowing. But I'm gonna backtrack for a second. Anyway, so I gotta backtrack a little bit because I missed a spot here, my bad. Anyway, so My son was born in 2023. Born beginning of June. And before all this, I never actually had my own shop. Let's get that out of the way too. Never had my own shop. Worked in my dad's garage, it was a 2-car stall for a long time. Had someone with a shop at my friend Brandon's house for a while, and then I was building cars with Cody at his shop. Never ever had my own shop. I mean, I've been derbying since obviously 2009, so I never actually had my own shop until I was able to get this. But anyway, 2023, son's born in beginning of August, or beginning of June, I bet. My mom has been sick since I was 12 years old. She ended up passing away the end of June, and that was really hard on me for the fact of my son never actually got to meet his grandma. She used to be big into it when my dad was with her, but they obviously divorced when I was little. But like, she was a part of it. She liked derbying. Once she got sick, I took her to some derbies and stuff like that because she had nothing else to do, and she just lived and breathed it just as much as I did, as much as she could, and she always asked what was going on. And I really wish I would have took her more to the big shows that I could have, but it was kind of hard too with everything else going on while we're there and stuff like that. But so anyway, she passed away in June, and she had some money for me. I was the only son, and I really didn't want to use it on anything I didn't need or do or stuff like that. I don't want to be that person. But my mom always talked about it. She always wanted to be a part of everything I did, and she never really got that chance. So after she passed, I got a certain amount of money, which actually goes back to this end of the story here, which makes it even greater. But anyway, she not only helped us get this house and my dream shop and dream property and stuff like that. I was kind of in some debt, and the only way we could get the house is if I could pay some of it off, so I used some of that money to do that. So I finally got my own shop to do what I love doing, and I finally had my dream house with my wife. She was a part of that, and she got to be a part of Denton then, in my opinion, to be here with us at our dream home finally. And then that summer, I was running the 6 OLS, which is on the bench. Rod bearings went out of it. I didn't have a motor for Gold Rush. So I had to do something. So I ended up buying a Coiler 355 because I knew I needed to do something here that was going to make us compete. And so I ended up using some of that to do that. And went to Gold Rush, like I said, won that championship, and I knew she was there the whole time. Because not only did we just win the championship, we won it on my mom's birthday. And, to pull that off is just the whole scenario is unbelievable. I mean, I didn't ever see it, but there's a picture that I'll show of the smoke on my car, and it looks like an angel above the car. So I know for sure she was there with us, keeping us all safe and making sure we did it. And it's just amazing to me what happened. So that is why that hood means more than anything to me in the wall. Not only did she contribute to she finally got the chance to help me do what I enjoy doing so much, and to do it the way we did it was unbelievable, you know. And the best part was being on her birthday. I pulled off the biggest accomplishment in the sport I've ever done. So that's a big part. Sorry. But anyway, we won that year, and then like I said earlier, every other year after that we've been in the championship. We just haven't got first place again, which kind of sucks, but we're hoping this year we can pull her off. We have a great team. Kenny joined us this last year. Great person. I was watching him growing up too. Still mind-blowing to be on my team, which is awesome. But to going back to the RPM thing a little bit, the Quas started RPM Redemption. For some reason, I kind of took it over, and it's been my thing now, and we're gonna keep going that way because that name is getting more out there, I believe, especially 2.0. So usually when you see the big orange RPM letters, you know who we are and what we're coming for. But yeah, so I was just trying to give a little brief description, who I am, a little backstory, how I got the shop, how the derby stuff kind of started, a little bit of story of the hood on the wall. I think that's about it for now. Obviously we're gonna have a lot more things to talk about. Kind of new to this yet, so I apologize to anyone. But the first stop is gonna be we're not gonna be working on cars. We're not gonna be working on a car here. We're gonna be going to Cody's shop. Excuse me, sorry. And we're gonna go work on his Cornhusker gas car. Like I said earlier, it's a little easier to do it there with all his extra resources he's got there. Normally I'd be building the cars here, but being he's got his own shop, he only lives 20 minutes from me, we're gonna be doing that there. So, hoping when we get there, I'm gonna see what he's got going. I'm thinking we're gonna be patching the body, so I'll be doing a little video of the process on that, showing a little bit of what I can of the car. Some things I'm never gonna, there's some things I'm not gonna show, just for the fact of we're still learning too. Everyone's got to learn a little bit, but I will explain the best on some stuff. But yeah, so I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy this. It's going to be a hell of a ride, I think. I think a lot of people are going to think this is pretty cool. And just thanks for watching. Just make sure you subscribe, share it. I'll have little shorts on TikTok. I'm gonna try my best with the editing and stuff like that. Like I said, it's all new to me. I'm not the most techie guy, but we're gonna see what we can make out of this. I appreciate everyone for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.